So Samsung did it again, and they have dropped their new lineup, the S26, and they've dropped 3 versions. They also dropped some buds as well, but then we're gonna focus on the phones, and we're gonna focus on the Ultra, because there is a new feature on the Ultra that is really cool, and also how the Ultra isn't Ultra. Let me explain. And so my first reaction to this, or these new lineups, are, well, it looks like the S25. And if you look closely, it is really hard to spot the difference. There is some new colors, but other than that, it's almost the exact same phone. It's slightly slimmer than the older models, but if you're looking at it with face value, you're not gonna be able to really tell that much. They've added a little plateau around the cameras, and so that's a slight change. And they've also increased the price a little bit by $100. And this is something we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna talk about the new features, what's good, what's mid, and let's dive into it. First things first, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and let's talk about how these new phones are $100 more than they were last year. And what changed? Well, they didn't upgrade your storage, which is interesting. And then your battery goes from like 4,000 milliamp hours to like 4,300. Your camera doesn't really change. There's not really much changing. So you're basically paying $100 more, especially for these older, or for the 2 base models, the S26. You're basically paying $100 more for almost the exact same phone that they dropped last year. Yes, the chip is going to be slightly newer, but is that worth $100? I guess I'll leave that up to you guys to chat about in the comments, but if it's $100 more and you're not getting much difference, would you buy it? And this is something that we saw with the iPhones, but they gave us the 256 space storage, and the price increased, but we got the storage. So the Pro models went from 126 to 256, and $100 more, but you're getting the extra storage. We know that storage is super expensive right now, but you'd think that they would give us that, right? But I guess not this time around. Hopefully next year, fingers crossed. And with the cameras, with the Ultra 8K quality, nice. We like that when it comes to a camera. And Samsung being Samsung, they like their zoom. And so it's got good zoom, obviously, like it usually does. It's got 30x, and they changed the apertures on the Pro models too. So you got the main from 1.7 to 1.4, and the 5x from 3.4 to 2.9. This year they're really focusing on having that night mode, being able to capture more light in these darker settings. Some of the pictures that we've seen on their website, if you just go to X, Instagram, if you look at any S26 shots at night, they are really good, and so should most phones in this price range in 2026. So nothing too crazy to expect there, but yes, they are focusing on bringing more light into the camera. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, what is the new feature that is in the new Samsung Ultra? It's probably all over. You've probably seen it by now, but let's talk about it because it's actually super cool. So if you've ever had a screen protector on your phone, you know that if you're looking at it from the front, you can see it. And as you tilt, you can't see what the other person's seeing. Now this can be really annoying because it's kind of go big or go home. You either see it or you don't, right? So Samsung decided to come along and engineer this new screen that you can turn it into a screen protector without putting one on, which is cool. And it can do strictly just notifications. It can do strictly certain websites or apps. It can do it when you put in your passwords. So if I'm getting a text message from, say, my mom, I don't want any of my friends to see, I could be like, all right, when I get a text or a notification from text, make it so only I can see it. So that could be a super cool feature. I don't know what people are going to use this for. Hopefully it's for good, but it is cool that we're able to do this. The way they're able to do it is basically they put a ring over the sensor or over the pixel over half of the pixels. So you lose some of the pixel quality when you turn this on, and it slightly dims your screen. But basically they put a ring over the pixel which directs the light straight up instead of out, which is how they're able to get this privacy screen look. And this is a super cool feature, and now that they've done it, we'll probably end up seeing it more often on other companies' phones, maybe Apple or Pixel. We'll see who jumps on this train. I think it's pretty cool, so we'll see how it takes off. I mean, it is a cool feature. It's nice if you're typing in a password, you can have it automatically turn on, and you know, they can't see what you're typing in to keep those passwords secure. Okay, now let's talk about the AI section of these new phones. And going into this, in their keynote, they talked about this phone being the AI phone. And in 2026, 2025, AI has been the big thing in tech, as we all know. And it's changing faster and faster every day. It's growing and growing. And so Samsung this year is really putting a lot of effort into AI with these phones. They've got a thing that's basically image playground, but for Samsung. If you have an iPhone, you know what that is. Basically, you can type something, you know, create like this cartoon looking image. It doesn't create like Gemini's like Nano Pro stuff, but I mean, I think it's kind of useless. I mean, I've done it once on my iPhone just because I wanted to try it out. And yeah, no need to talk about that any further. And so there are features on maybe like the messaging app where it tries to guess what you're going to say or do, other cool stuff. And so Samsung is really trying to push AI into these phones, which can be a good thing. So we'll see how that goes. And with a lot of their features, it can be cool for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you never think or use it again. So we'll see which features we keep and which ones we don't. And we got to talk about them going back to aluminum. So they were titanium, back to aluminum, and Apple did the same thing. So it's kind of interesting. They're going back to it probably for prices, you know, with memory and all the things that are super expensive now. These companies are probably trying to find ways to decrease the cost per phone. Titanium is going to be more expensive than aluminum, and so they have changed the frame of the phone. Now, the S26 Ultra is a good phone, and it's going to start around $1,300, which for a phone's a lot, and it looks very similar to like the S25 Plus. I mean, it does have the pen, but I think what Samsung's trying to do here is trying to offer the Ultra into a more mass market than just having it be for a couple of people. And you know, they all look the same, but maybe that's the look that Samsung wants. Maybe they're just trying to play it safe. We don't know, but these phones, basically the bottom two are the same. The Ultra, we'll see how it goes, how the privacy screen works in real life as we start seeing real reviews, real people start using it. And overall, in first impressions, it seems like a decent phone. I'm curious to see how the cameras are going to be, especially at nighttime. And there's also a couple cool features with the camera with stabilization that we want to test out as well. So stay tuned for those. And well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.